During our process, while we were looking at franchise systems, we really wanted to have something that's family-oriented and something that we felt like could be a good give back to the community as well at the same time. So when we were looking at Right at Home, when that came to our plate, it was really a great fit for us as a family because we could see ourselves giving back, but at the same time, having that good work-life balance and having a nice culture in our family and our friends and kind of being really proud about what we do. So I had actually stayed at home for a couple years, and prior to that worked a corporate job in hospitality. Now, years later, being in this business, I realized there's a lot of correlations. I didn't think that at the time. My husband also had a corporate job, and he traveled a lot, so we really wanted to get him out of that travel scenario. We have 3 little kids and wanted him to be at home more often. We wanted to look as a long-term gain to have a business that we could have for very many years and leave a legacy for our family. So that was also a big portion of why we chose Right at Home. When we decided to branch out of our corporate world, it was a little difficult at first to think about what are you going to do, how are you going to survive, how are you going to build this business from zero up to where it is today. And to paint that picture is really kind of difficult because at first you're just trying to put that puzzle together, but Right at Home does a good job supporting you throughout that process. Our Right Start coach, Susie Dunn, did an amazing job actually with us. She was able to give us all those tools to really give you the picture of what you need to do each day to bring that family, their loved one care, and also do it properly, but at the same time to make you have the confidence to do so. So that was actually a big part of our lives every single day. Well, Adam and I are very frugal, savvy business people. We like to think of ourselves as. No, to be honest, we really, Adam and I really took our time thinking about what we wanted to do. We always wanted to own our own business. So that's been a game plan of ours for many years. We looked at a variety of different ideas, whether it was like a restaurant or an ice cream shop or, a bar or something. And we kept feeling like the picture of Right at Home kept coming to us, like home care, just kind of, we had a neighbor who needed help. My grandmother had Parkinson's. Adam's grandmother, who's still with us, has dementia. So we felt like it was just this, our church, everything just kind of kept bringing us back to taking care of people and giving back in a different way. So when we walked out of our corporate jobs, which were very secure, and we were both directors and able to lead teams and all that, it was hard to walk away from a 6-figure salary and say, hey, it's going to work out one day. But it did, and we're really happy, and it's been an amazing journey, to be honest. So when Adam and I have our heart set on something, we kind of go all in. And so we looked at a number of different franchise systems, and mostly on the restaurant side of things, and then also in the healthcare field. To be honest, the way we ended up in the healthcare field was through the restaurant system. Another franchise that's a really widely known sandwich conglomerate, a lot of their owners during the discovery process told us to look into home care. And then when we started looking into different home care companies to find out who the best one was, then we found Right at Home. So it kind of worked its way through. And during that process, along that same path, we were looking at, how can we make this a good work-life balance? How can we make this something that we're proud of? And then it kind of kept unfolding to become a home care agency was the right path for us. So there wasn't ever a time that we questioned saying that this wasn't a good idea, but there was definitely some times that you're like, can I really do this? There's times that you're on call, taking those phone calls at nighttime. You're in a situation with a family member that you're really not sure what to do, what the right ethical thing is to do, what would I do in this scenario if this was my mom? You're being accused of something that you didn't do yourself, or there's a lot of different things with home care, that a lot of liabilities that come to mind with that thought. But to be honest, every day is a different journey, and we've learned something every day. So here we're 4 years in, and each week there's something that comes up that you're like, okay. So in a good way too. Like some days you're like, okay, I really got through that, or other days you're like, okay, I need to call my friend Right at Home and raise my hand and say, can you help me? So Yeah. So now that we've been in business for 4 years, we've reached our goals. We're at $2 million a year now, so we're happy with that. Obviously, we want to continue our journey. We have 4 territories. We've been growing steadily, and our community really looks at us as one of the leaders, whether it's for educational purposes or for actual home care purposes. And it's a really great feeling. So we've definitely achieved where we didn't really picture we could even get to so quickly, and to have a really good reputation in our area. And so we're really proud that we've made it where we are. So staffing is always going to be a challenge when it comes to any business. So really the biggest way to look at that and the challenge and to overcome it is to, they say, to hire for what you don't know, right? And then on top of that, you need to make sure that you're emphasizing what your passions are, what your mission is, what your beliefs are every day. So no matter what, our staff that runs our office knows everything that we would want them to do in every scenario that comes to mind. When it comes to staffing our caregivers and continuing to onboard people, we make sure that we have that mission in place every single day. So when it comes to staffing for our field staff, we have, early on, there were 3 of us in the office, and it was mainly myself and our operations person who would take the on-call phone at nighttime. And you'd have those people that called off last minute or emergencies that popped up. So you'd be taking the phone, and I'd be taking care of my 3 kids at the same time, or cooking dinner and those kinds of things. And honestly, I don't know how, but you manage to juggle it, and it works itself out, and you can still staff it. And you have those caregivers that want to work constantly, and those are your go-to girls or men, and you make sure that they're readily available. You've got them on your phone all the time. As time progresses, now we've got 9 people roughly in our office that can help us to so that we share the burden and we share the weight, but we're also obviously always available to them if they need our help too. But it makes it for a much better work-life balance for sure now than it did early on. But the way we have it in our office, actually, we've staffed it so we have someone who works Sunday to Thursday, and then Tuesday to Saturday. I hope I said that right. And then it works great for everyone because on-call ends up actually just being at nighttime. And then, so everyone has a really great work-life balance. Well, early on when we had our Right Start coach, it was emphasized to me to make sure that we really went out there in the community. And I can't emphasize enough that is the biggest thing. You have a small staff in the office, but I promise you can leave that office and go market. They don't know that you're there. You have to get out. You have to get out early and don't go to the office. So that's, my number one, I would say. And then secondly, I'd probably say, really do work with your web design person to talk about what's on your website versus other people's website, and get ideas from other people's websites, whether that's your friendly competition or that's another right-at-home person. Put your news articles on there, blog, MailChimp people, things like that, and really just get the name out there, get things out there with your web design person. That helps a lot. The accounting person will help you with your QuickBooks if you're not really, I was not good at accounting coming in, and now I'm QuickBooks whiz. So that was really helpful. Those are all things, and like Doug, also on the ACA side of things in Florida, we have a lot of regulation, and it took a lot of time to learn what you can and cannot do, and there's still some gray areas that we're really not sure about some days, but I now have been through a couple surveys and passed with flying colors, so I'm very proud of our team. But without Right at Home, I don't know that we could have done those things so easily, and I don't think that we could have, I definitely wouldn't have bit this off by ourselves. The one thing I would do differently is maybe have Adam come on board earlier. I think having my spouse join us earlier would have helped us to get to where we are now quicker. We did do the right thing by making sure that we had enough money in our pocket to not worry about things, so that was a lot less stressful for us. But our business grew, exponentially as soon as I had that support in my office as well.